New York, on a cold winter afternoon. Inside the grand high-rise of Walker Corporation, Ethan Walker, the current chairman of the city's most powerful financial empire, was awaiting a reunion that hadn't happened in over 20 years. A girl stepped out of the sleek black limo, her long, wavy hair framing a cold gaze that barely concealed her unease. She was Natalie Walker, the daughter who had been kidnapped at the age of 5, long presumed lost to the world forever. "Welcome home," Ethan said, his voice trembling as he saw her. "We've been searching for you for 22 years. Natalie said nothing. Her eyes wandered across the lobby. Once her home, now unfamiliar. Childhood memories flickered faintly. Snowy nights by the window, her mother's laughter, her father's embrace, and then darkness. "I grew up in a small town where no one knew who I was. Now that I'm stepping into the world of the Walkers again, I don't know if there's still a place for me." Ethan stepped forward, embracing his sister for the first time in 2 decades. "It doesn't matter where you were. You're a Walker, and now you're home." But no one knew. Her return would awaken long-buried secrets, ignite hidden agendas, and trigger a new war, right in the heart of New York's elite. As Natalie stepped into the Walker family's Manhattan estate, she was instantly overwhelmed by its lavish grandeur, but the coldness in the air was unmistakable. Inside, the brothers she'd never met were already waiting. Ethan, the eldest, began the introductions. "This is Lucas, your second brother," Ethan said, pointing to a tall, broad-shouldered man whose sharp eyes radiated the aura of a fighter. "He's a 3-time national MMA champion." Lucas gave a curt nod. "Welcome back, sis. Never thought you'd be a warrior from the past." "And this is Darren," Ethan continued, "your third brother, a renowned traditional medicine doctor who runs a top clinic on Park Avenue." Darren stared at Natalie with a layered expression. "I heal people, but I can also spot a threat when I see one." His words hung heavy in the air. "Ryan, your fourth brother, A-list Hollywood actor," Ethan added with a light chuckle. "He just won the Oscar for Best Actor." Ryan waved cheerfully. "I thought drama was just for the screen. Guess we're living it now." And last, Oliver, the youngest, a tech genius ranked among the top hackers worldwide, graduated top of his class at MIT. Oliver smiled. "Welcome home, Natalie. Your data's been restored," he joked. "Time to reset the family system." In the corner of the room, a girl stood silently, watching. Her smile was polite, but her eyes held shadows. "This is Emily," Ethan said gently. "She was adopted after you disappeared. She's been with us ever since." Natalie nodded, but unease stirred inside her. Emily stepped forward and hugged her tightly. "It's so beautiful when sisters reunite, isn't it?" Natalie felt a phantom needle pierce her chest. Not from the hug, but from something behind that perfectly sweet mask. Something dangerous was drawing near. The longer Natalie stayed in the Walker mansion, the more she felt something wasn't right. Emily was always overly friendly. She appeared everywhere Natalie went, as if trying to monitor her every move. At their first family dinner, she eagerly served Natalie food and smiled sweetly, but her eyes flicked constantly to the brothers, gauging their reactions, almost as if ensuring Natalie didn't steal their attention. Lucas, once a fierce MMA champion, now sat in a wheelchair. Ethan had said it was from a car accident years ago, but Natalie noticed his symptoms didn't match a typical injury. His skin was pale, his hands slightly trembled, and his body felt abnormally cold to the touch. One night, Natalie quietly entered Lucas's room and ran some tests using the medical tools hidden in her travel case. She took a small blood sample, analyzed it right there in the dark. What she found left her shaken. Lucas's bloodstream contained traces of an extremely rare traditional poison, a compound once used in remote parts of Asia, now trafficked only on the black market in places like the Bronx. The next morning, she went undercover into Bronx's underground herbal shops. After some subtle questioning, a vendor leaned in and whispered, "You're with her, right? The brown-haired girl? She's been buying that cold powder for weeks." Cold powder, the exact toxin found in Lucas's system. Natalie left the shop with clenched fists. She didn't yet know who was behind it, but one thing was certain. The enemy lived under the same roof, and she would not let another Walker fall. 3 days later, Lucas collapsed in the middle of the living room while taking medication prescribed by Darren. The Walker family erupted in panic. Emily was the first to scream, rushing toward him with crocodile tears. "It must be that strange herbal remedy Natalie brought back," she cried. "Get away from him," Natalie snapped, shoving Emily aside as she dropped to her knees beside Lucas. Ethan stepped forward to intervene, but paused when he saw the fire in Natalie's eyes. From her coat pocket, she pulled out a set of gleaming silver acupuncture needles, the kind only someone with elite training would dare to use. "What are you doing?" Darren frowned, skeptical. "You're not a doctor." "No, but I'm the only one here who knows how to neutralize a poison none of you even recognized," she replied sharply. Without waiting, she began inserting the needles into precise pressure points on Lucas's body. The room fell silent. Emily stared daggers at Natalie. She knew if Natalie succeeded, all her accusations would fall apart. 20 tense minutes passed. Sweat beaded down Natalie's forehead. The final needle was placed into the heart meridian. And then Lucas stirred. A faint gasp escaped his lips. "Natalie," he whispered. Gasps echoed through the room. Ryan clutched his head. She actually saved him?" Ethan turned to Darren. "You're the doctor. How did you not see the poison?" Darren lowered his eyes, silent. From the shadows, Oliver stepped forward, holding a headset connected to his tablet. A video played on the screen. Emily secretly sprinkling powder into Lucas's medicine glass. "Anything you'd like to say, Emily?" Ethan asked coldly. Emily froze, her face drained of color. Natalie stood tall, eyes calm and unwavering. "I don't need anyone's belief. The truth speaks loud enough." After the chaos of saving Lucas, the Walker mansion barely had time to settle when a luxurious Rolls-Royce pulled up outside. An elderly woman, dignified and commanding, stepped out, Jason Cole's grandmother, matriarch of the Cole Group, a longtime business partner of the Walkers. She held out an aged yellow document, a betrothal contract between Natalie Walker and Jason Cole, signed when Natalie was just 3 years old. "This was your parents' wish before they passed. Now that Natalie has returned, the engagement must be honored." Everyone fell silent. Natalie was stunned. She had never even heard the name Jason Cole before, much less that she was promised to him. Just then, Jason entered, sharply dressed, cool, the epitome of a New York CEO. He looked at Natalie, surprise flashing in his eyes. "It's you?" he muttered. They had met before. Natalie froze. You're the man I saved that night in Brooklyn?" Jason nodded. "I've been trying to find you. I never imagined you were my childhood fiancé." Suddenly, Emily interjected, voice overly sweet. "If Jason doesn't want to marry someone like her, I'd be happy to take her place." Jason turned to her, his tone icy. "I don't like fakes." Emily's face went pale. Before Natalie could speak, Ethan stepped in. "An old agreement doesn't dictate her future. We won't force our sister into anything." Jason nodded. "I don't believe in destiny either. But I do believe in what I felt. And she saved my life." His gaze found Natalie's. "If you'll allow it, I'd like the chance to start over. Not because of the contract, but because of you." Just 3 days after Jason's offer to start over, a nightmare struck again. Lucas suddenly collapsed into a deeper coma. His heart stopped for several minutes. The Walker mansion spiraled into chaos. Darren was in shock. Emily sobbed uncontrollably and pointed directly at Natalie. "It's her. She's still feeding Lucas those strange folk remedies. I saw her this morning." "Shut up," Natalie snapped. I didn't give him anything today. Ethan hesitated. Wait, let's confirm. Oliver interrupted. No need to confirm. He held up his tablet, his hand slightly trembling. I tested the remaining medicine in Lucas's room. It's been tampered with. The dosage of a certain compound is 10 times stronger than last time. Natalie froze. That's impossible. Emily smirked. Then who brought that medicine into his room this morning? All eyes turned to Natalie. She took a step back. I wasn't even in his room. Emily pressed on, voice calm but sharp. Then who else could have delivered the medicine? Who else had access? No one answered. No one defended her. Even Ethan looked uncertain. Natalie turned away, blinking back the sting in her eyes. And then a weak voice echoed down the stairs. That's enough. Lucas. Everyone turned, stunned to see him standing, frail but conscious. The one who hurt me wasn't Natalie. Silence. Lucas locked eyes with Emily. It was you. You came into my room this morning. I couldn't move, but I heard your footsteps. You said, "Good luck surviving this time," and walked away. Emily turned pale. You have no proof. I do. All heads turned to Oliver. He stepped forward, holding his tablet, calm but furious. Emily thought she deleted the security footage from Lucas's room. He said coldly. What she didn't know is that the system has a triple-layered backup, synced to the company server I personally coded. A gasp escaped Ryan. Let's see what Emily tried to erase, Oliver added, tapping the screen. The room went silent as the video played. Emily creeping into Lucas's room, a tray of medicine in her hands, her face twisted in focus. Good luck surviving this time, her voice whispered from the speakers. Emily's knees buckled. No one spoke. Natalie looked at Emily, not with anger, not with hatred, just quiet disappointment. For someone taken in by my family, you chose to poison a paralyzed man? Emily trembled. I just wanted things to go back the way they were, before you came. Emily was taken away in silence. No one said a word. No tears. No pleas. Only the quiet collapse of a trust that had been betrayed too many times. Ethan was the first to speak, his voice calm but firm. From this day forward, Natalie will officially be recognized as the heir to Walker Corporation, as stated in our parents' final wishes. Lucas nodded, still weak. She saved my life, more than once. Ryan, usually the joker, spoke solemnly. None of us deserve to be called her brothers if we ever let her suffer injustice again. Oliver gave a soft smile. The system's clean now, sis. Jason stepped forward, eyes sincere. Natalie, if my offer still stands, I want to start again, not out of obligation, but because of you. Natalie looked at him. For the first time since her return, she no longer felt like an outsider. We won't start because of the past, she said. We'll start because of the present. She took Jason's hand, eyes lifting toward the night sky, aglow with the lights of New York. One chapter had ended, and another had just begun. New York on a quiet winter night. At the top floor of Walker Tower, Natalie stood alone by the glass window, gazing down at the glowing city. Every light, every distant honk, it all belonged to her now. No more doubt, no more hiding. She hadn't just reclaimed her family, she had reclaimed herself. From a forgotten girl, Natalie Walker was now the rightful heir of the Walker Empire, a beloved sister, and a woman chosen for who she truly was. And above all, she was someone who never stopped believing in the truth. From the day Natalie became the official heir of Walker Corporation, her life changed. No more shadows, no more doubts. But more importantly, she was no longer alone. Jason was always there. Never demanding, never stealing the spotlight. He was the quiet anchor by her side, the man willing to take a step back so she could move forward. Their love wasn't built on grand declarations. It grew through the little things, A morning coffee, a hand held in a crowded street, a warm glance at the end of a long day. One spring morning, Jason asked her to take the day off. "There's something I want to show you," he said. They drove out of New York, heading toward the coast. Natalie was surprised to see Jason had prepared everything: a picnic basket, a soft blanket, even a jar of wildflowers, her favorite. "Is there a special occasion?" she asked. Jason simply smiled. Just a beautiful day. They had lunch by the sea, listening to the waves and feeling the breeze dance through their hair. Natalie had never seen Jason smile so much. She had never smiled so softly herself. As the sun began to dip, Jason suddenly stood, walked over, and knelt before her. Natalie froze. Her heart raced. He opened a small box. Inside was a simple, elegant ring, exactly her style. "You once said we should start again for the present," he said softly. "Well, here's mine. The rest of my life with you in it. Will you marry me?" Natalie choked up, tears rolled down as she smiled. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I will." 2 years later, the penthouse on the 78th floor of Walker Tower wasn't so quiet anymore. Laughter echoed in every corner. Natalie cradled a baby girl with soft brown hair like morning mist, Isla, the purest symbol of her love with Jason. Jason kissed their daughter's forehead, then wrapped his arms around Natalie. "I thought you were the greatest miracle in my life," he said. "But Isla, she proved there's even more magic." Natalie smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. Beyond the glass, the city still shone just as it did the day she came home. But now, it no longer felt distant. It was home not because of the city's lights, but because it held the people she loved and the family she never thought she'd have again. If this story touched your heart even just a little, don't forget to support us. Like, share, and hit that subscribe button to follow more unforgettable love stories, only on Noah's Stories. Got thoughts or feelings? Drop them in the comments. We'd love to hear your voice. Because here at Noah's Stories, every story has a soul. And maybe the next one will feel like it was written just for you.